try and touch him, and then he won't bother you at all. So this is Dyson in fact. Just keep nice and still, everybody, okay? It's not normal for him to actually go out onto the fence there. He often does go to the toilet just before takeoff, but Dyson is a 4-year-old African white-backed vulture, one of the more common vultures that you would find in Africa. And basically what Dyson would do out there in the wild would be to soar around the skies on a thermal. And a thermal is a rising current of warm air. Often the vultures fly on these rising currents of air just to keep cool. It can get so hot in Africa, and just because that's where he would have come from had he been wild. This is a Welsh white-backed vulture, incidentally, but had he been wild, he'd be out there and at a couple of thousand feet in the sky. It's lovely and cool for him, makes him feel relaxed, but he's constantly aware of any food that might be available, and any danger too, for that matter. But all the time he's out looking for dead zebra or dead wildebeest, dead anything he would actually feed from. His eyesight, like all birds of prey, really is that good, at 7 or 8 times better than ours. So it's a bit like you using a pair of binoculars. That's how well Dyson can see all the time. And so what happens is, when he finds a carcass, a dead animal, he will simply glide down onto it, see that Dyson has found some dinner. And so they all home in on the same target, and that's why you can end up with 150 or 200 vultures all wanting a piece of the action. And they fight and they squabble all the time. That's they pull lumps out of one another. Amazing how quick they are, because they've got this long neck. And that long neck allows them to get into all of the nooks and crannies to find all the juicy bits. He'll even eat, as well as the muscle, the flesh, he'll eat all the juicy bits like heart, liver, lungs, even the intestines themselves. Often the dead animal has gone green and slimy, it's full of maggots. Not only can he survive on that, he can in fact thrive on it. And the problem that he then has is especially his head and his neck get covered in blood and guts and what have you. And so that's why he doesn't have what I would call normal feathers on the top of his head. He does have feathers there. Not all vultures do. Some vultures, like a lappet-faced vulture, are completely bald. But he's got these very short downy feathers. But they are there to help him keep clean easier, because after feeding he'd wipe his head against a tree trunk or a rock, or he'd find some water and have a bath. Sometimes he'll just let the sun dry all the gunk around his head and neck, and he'll just scratch it off using his talons. And so it's all about him keeping clean, and vultures really are very clean individuals indeed. They have to be clean in order to be able to fly and therefore survive. And now that he's back up on the top, he's been quite slow there on his last takeoff. I normally would have asked him to go up there yet again, but because he's been slow, and I even had to give him a signal, I had to put my hands up like that, just to really reinforce the fact that I wanted him to get back onto the top of Bird Tower. So I'm going to leave his flying at this for today, but as I call him back over here onto the log, I'm then going to give him a fairly quick run around the edge of the arena. But this is not your opportunity to stroke Dyson. If you try and stroke him, he will bite you, so you have been warned, okay? I don't stroke him, Rick doesn't stroke him, because he doesn't particularly like it anyway, and it's definitely not very good for his feather condition. See, he's got like an oil gland at the base of his tail, and what happens is Dyson will actually pick up the oil with his beak, and as he preens himself, that is, cleans his feathers, it naturally coats them and gives them a good waterproofing. And so that's why he doesn't particularly want to be touched, because it really would just remove those natural oils. Not quite know where he's going there. Back to the log in the middle. Dyson, we're finished now. Back over this way. If I put some food out for him, I'm sure he'll be happy to come along. So let's give Dyson a really big round of applause as well.